Who doesn't love a good sentencing? This could be me on Monday.
Well, he's not facing too much time. Looks like two 12-month sentences, followed by possibly 2 years. Also, I believe he said the judge has discretion to go above and beyond the guidelines. So let's find out what exactly is going to be coming the intelligent defendant's way.
This guy fucked up. He tried to defend himself. He's been stalling in court because he knows he's going to get years.
This story. As it relates to this report, do you have any additions, corrections, or deletions? Excuse me? No, I don't have any report. All right. So, as it relates to sentencing, is there anything that you want to state to the court?
Fuck, he's going to get smoked.
I have my medical information. I have stage 2 cancer. I have head trauma. I have neck to back injury and something with a drop foot.
Damn.
Anything else then, Mr. All right. Mr. Hensley has provided the detective information regarding different medical issues that he is suffering, and is suffering today, as a matter of fact. However, as the court sat through this trial, it's clear to the court that what Mr. Hensley was engaged in is trouble. The testimony of these victims when they were traveling on westbound I-96.
He's going to get all the smoke.
Business. When Mr. Hensley's vehicle comes up behind them, at a high rate of speed, the victim described with great clarity how close Mr. Hensley and his vehicle were to them, to the point they were extremely uncomfortable. Did not allow Mr. Hensley let the court finish. Okay. To the point that they thought they were going to be struck. The victim, I recall, describing being unable to even see the front of Mr. Hensley's vehicle. That's how close it was, meaning the grill headlights. I recall testimony.
That's how it is every time a state trooper gets behind me, man. I don't even know it's a cop. All I see is a windshield. That's all else there are. No bumper, no hood, no nothing.
And then they immediately got over.
Fire. Lockdown. 23-1. Yeah, man. Who doesn't love a good sentencing? So it was a road rage. He came out. He threatened people with a gun. They have a family with a handicapped child. Hi, my friends.
Now, all of that, I think, is certainly actions that would cause the victims here to feel their life was in danger. Somebody points a gun at them.
You're fucking cooked, buddy.
Somebody is tailgating that closely behind them on the highway at speeds of 70, 75, 80.
Canada.
People in danger could cause people to
We in the middle of Canada, my friends. Where are you guys from?
But it's a long way, Mr. Hensley, the court saying, having sat through the trial, you create the situation by driving in a manner that makes these folks uncomfortable, by coming up on them at a high rate of speed and following them that closely. Objection, man. Mr. Hensley.
He fucking pointed a gun at a family on the freeway. He was convicted already. This is just the sentencing. He said he had stage 4 cancer.
You can easily turn that setting off. Not to mention those lane protecting things, man. Sometimes things freak me out.
He's gonna get fucking smoked. We're gonna have another hoot for this guy. He's fucking cooked.
And you know it was a lie. The court finish. All right. So the testimony was as the court has described. And there is no doubt that all of those actions Mr. Hensley is responsible for. That's the ironic part of it. He creates the situation that causes discomfort for these drivers, and then he's the individual that introduces a gun to the situation.
Yeah, you can see the house.
It's remarkably similar, where Mr. Hensley is right on the buffer.
Dining room.
Grand Rapids, Kent County area.
Living room.
And then when she is very uncomfortable and pulls over and stops, Mr. Hensley again introduces a gun.
Front porch.
Now I mention this because I I'm not using that as it relates to a sentencing issue. I'm using that, and then it's clear Mr. Hensley
Front door,
drives in a manner that
stairwell,
endangers other people, that causes them to report
basement,
other people, and then when they
kitchen,
avoid, evade,
soon to be second bathroom, and grow room back there.
to the situation.
Let's see.
Mr. Hensley, I'm a captain.
Post your house. Let's see your house.
Really obvious that in today's
Put it on you. Put it on boob tubes. We'll watch it. I follow everybody who follows me.
if you believe somehow
But this guy's getting smoked.
and
Smoked!
And for the record, there's nothing in this trial, nothing this court heard with 440 evidence or the incident.
I just cleaned the house today. That's why you get to see it. I washed the floors. I washed the fridge. I washed the stove. I washed the fucking doors. I washed the door frames. I washed the door handles. I vacuumed. And I pounded some nails back in the old floor.
A very easy avenue to articulate, I felt in fear for my life or great bodily harm, and assuming they were lawfully carrying a gun, could take action. Shoot you, in other words. And I can remember just a little
This guy's getting smoked. Here it is.
in which an individual was tailgating a lawful CPL holder going right down Steel Street over here. And so that individual, much like here, got over, pulled into the car wash to get away from this guy. And the guy behind him pulled right in behind him, much like in the 440 evidence I heard with you. And so what happens is the CPL holder, what is this guy doing? He's crazy, he pulls his gun. Now, you can argue whether he could articulate at that time whether he felt his life was in danger of death and great bodily harm. But regardless, so what happens is the tailgater, he then also was a valid CPL holder, and he pulls his gun. And guess what they did? They shot each other, and they both died.
Wow. Your Honor? That was a hell of a story. Those firearms, man, like I say, it opens up different windows, kind of like getting a shank in prison. Anytime you get a weapon, some kind of situation comes your way to see if you're going to use it or not. But, Your Honor, you know, that was a wild story, and I thank you for bringing it up. I think we could all learn a little something from that one.
I wasn't listening at all. I missed it.
One time.
I don't know. I don't really give subs my number. That sounds like a bad idea.
Do all those things, and part of that is shooting your gun 15 times or something. I can't remember.
I knew about CPL.
No, well, my point is, so they both hit their mark, and they're dead. And it's started from
It's not you. It's me.
like this. And so my point,
I can't afford a girlfriend.
The story to you, you're telling the story. When you engage in this kind of behavior, it puts your own life at risk. Puts your own life at risk. And that, you are lucky that hasn't occurred to you, but you certainly have frightened the heck out of people with what I heard in this trial.
Frighten the heck?
You certainly were in the wrong, and you're not a valid CPL holder. That's the other problem.
Because I don't need it.
All right, well, I recognize you think that you have...
Oh yeah, there's 1,000 videos of me. Don't worry.
I'm not aware of found either in state or federal constitution, and you certainly can take those up on review, right?
I'm already in Western District Court
So
already.
that's fine. You can appeal anything.
My best videos are when I say nothing. It's when I open my mouth do I get in trouble.
Bobby Hewitt!
Smoke! Here comes the smoke! 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 Smoke!
And what the court likes to do, Mr. Hensley, as I'm reviewing this, I will say this, I'm weighing positively in a positive manner here. You stand before the court at age 50, you don't have any prior criminal history.
Exactly.
Which is somewhat remarkable when I heard about the 404B evidence. So
Exactly.
I don't know how.
Oh, wow. He has no criminal history whatsoever. And 50 years old, you know, that's a long time to be following the law. This kind of threw a hook in my thought process on this one. But at the same time, you know, he did aim a gun at a family. 9-year-old in the back seat, special needs, I believe is what they said.
Yep.
Can't be doing that, man.
Getting
And
smoked.
It looks like he might have escaped that last crime, but it's not looking like he's going to escape this one.
How that did result.
One last tooth for the fucking criminal.
And I'm recognizing that, and I'm going to recognize that in the sentence I'm going to impose here in a minute. We do have the sentencing guideline now, which is 5 to 23 months. The court likes to think about the middle. The middle of 5 to 23 is going to be 14. And I also want to recognize that you don't have any prior criminal history. And that I will also recognize until lately that you've been cooperative with the court. You showed up in court.
He's getting smoked.
As far as I can tell, did your very best to represent yourself, and we're adamant about doing so, and took this matter seriously. All of those things, I think, are things the court can weigh that are positive to you. The negative, though, sir, is the outcome of this is your actions and one causing this and then making it worse with introducing the gun and pointing it at his family on the date in question.
And they proved it.
He did prove that. He found the reasonable doubt at trial. I recognize you disagree with that.
Because you had evidence, you had photos, you had
Court
video,
decided it.
you had some.
You're at sentencing, my guy. You're getting fucking smoked.
Appellate review, sir.
Never represent yourself.
All right. So as it relates to the carrying a concealed weapon,
Here we go, Bobby.
all right. So carrying a concealed weapon is count or charge number 1. Court's going to impose a sentence of 12 months to 5 years.
Woo!
That's under the minimum guideline range of, or the middle, I should say, of what the court was looking at is 14 months. So it'll be 1 year to 5 years with the Michigan Department of Corrections, and you do have credit now for 14 days that you have previously served. As it relates to the felonious assault, this would be charge number 2. The court's going to impose a sentence of 1 year with the Michigan Department of Corrections to the statutory max of 4 years. You
Oof.
will receive credit for 14 days that you have previously served. 3, this is the felony firearm. The court is required, Mr. Hensley, to impose a sentence of 2 years with the Michigan Department of Corrections. And then counts 1 and 2 that I mentioned earlier will be served concurrently with each other, but this count 3 by statute is required to be served consecutive with and preceding these other 2 counts.
All right, so it sounds like the judge is going with what the prosecution was asking for. 2 12-month sentences and a 2-year sentence. But the 2 12-month sentences are ran concurrent, which means they're combined and he only has to do 1 12-month sentence. But by law, the third crime, the felony firearm, is ran consecutive, meaning he has to do the 12 months first, and then he'll start the 2 years. Now,
3
if
years.
everything was ran concurrent, then he would only have to do 2 years. But 3 years is a walk in the park. But for someone 50 years old with medical problems like he's saying he has, it could be a death sentence. But that's wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you enjoyed and learned a little bit along the way.
That was
Like,
great.
road rage of any kind never pays off. Most of the time, it's usually just putting yourself at risk of going to prison. Also, another thing you need to see here is there might not be a lot of evidence in the courtroom with a lot of trials, but it comes down to he say, she say. And you'd be surprised how many people get sent to prison with absolutely no physical evidence whatsoever, just the victims speaking on what happened to them. But I'm out here, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. Tomorrow, I believe I have a rundown of some crazy prison news coming your way. Not to mention another Honorable Judge Boyd courtroom sentencing episode as well. Man, those ones terrify me, I'm not gonna lie. Until the next time, though, as always, y'all be easy, be safe, and stay free.